Is MS-13 a defining part of Salvadoran culture or a force tearing it apart? Beyond the headlines and news flashes lies a deeper, more painful truth. This video explores the complex roots and far-reaching impact of MS-13, a gang born of violence, shaped by poverty and sustained by fear in the 1980s. El Salvador was gripped by a brutal civil war that tore families apart and left deep scars on the nation. When the war ended, the guns may have gone quiet, but the violence didn't stop. The country was left shattered, with crumbling institutions, a fragile economy, and a generation of young people growing up in poverty, trauma, and hopelessness. Into this void stepped gangs. MS-13, or Mara Salvatrucha, wasn't born in El Salvador. It was formed in the streets of Los Angeles by Salvadoran immigrants seeking protection in a hostile environment. But when many of them were deported back to El Salvador in the 1990s, they brought the gang home with them. What started as a means of survival quickly evolved into one of the most feared criminal organizations in the world, expanding its reach across Central America and deep into U.S. cities. The reasons for MS-13's rise are complex. Mass incarceration policies, weak governance, and lack of education and jobs created a perfect storm for gang growth. As one institution failed after another, MS-13 filled the void with its own twisted form of order. Many youths growing up in broken homes or violent neighborhoods found identity. MS-13 power comes not just from guns, but from fear. In neighborhoods under their control, life operates under a silent code. People are told where they can go, who they can talk to, and what they can wear. Refusing to comply often means death. Businesses are extorted. Children are recruited, and families are shattered by disappearances and killings. For many Salvadorans, every day is a tightrope walk between survival and submission. Even the police are often powerless, outgunned, or corrupted. In many areas, people don't call the authorities when there's trouble. They stay silent. Afraid of deadly repercussions, the psychological toll is immense. Imagine being afraid to walk to school, fearing that taking a wrong turn might be your last. That's the reality for thousands living in gang-controlled areas. And it doesn't end there. The trauma passes from generation to generation. Children raised in fear, families mourning lost loved ones, communities torn apart by mistrust. But the story of MS-13 isn't just one of despair. It's also one of resistance. Across El Salvador, courageous communities are standing up. Grassroots organizations are creating safe spaces, offering youth alternatives to gang life through education. Sports and job training. In San Salvador and smaller cities, community centers have become lifelines. They teach coding, music, carpentry, anything to show young people there's another way to survive. To belong, former gang members are being reintegrated into society with the help of rehabilitation programs. Local churches, nonprofits, and volunteers are working to build bridges and restore trust where it's been broken. There are also art collectives, using graffiti and theater to reclaim public spaces once marked by violence. These aren't just creative outlets, they are acts of defiance, symbols of hope. While progress is slow and often met with threats, it's real. These efforts prove that the grip of MS-13 is not unbreakable. The reach of MS-13 extends far beyond El Salvador's borders. Tens of thousands have fled the violence, seeking safety in the United States and beyond. But many find themselves caught in a cruel cycle, facing suspicion abroad while still being haunted by the violence they left behind. For many asylum seekers, proving that they are victims, not threats, is an uphill battle. They're often criminalized, their trauma dismissed. Yet their stories paint a grim picture of why people flee in the first place. At home, MS-13 has become a political lightning rod. Successive governments have declared war on the gangs, often favoring iron fist tactics over long-term solutions. Mass arrests and crackdowns make headlines, but rarely address the root causes. Some argue these crackdowns only strengthen the gang, pushing its members deeper underground or turning prisons into recruitment hubs. True progress will require international cooperation, support from governments, NGOs, and communities working together to tackle poverty, strengthen institutions, and provide real opportunities for the next generation. Bite the Darkness is light stories of former gang members turned mentors, mothers, organizing neighborhood watch groups, and youth choosing books over bullets remind us that change is possible. El Salvador is not defined by its gangs. It is defined by the strength of its people, the courage of its communities, and the hope that refuses to die. MS-13 may be a powerful force, but it is not an unstoppable one. With unity, resilience, and a shared commitment to justice, a different future is still within reach. Hope isn't just an emotion, it's an act of resistance. Every school that stays open, every kid that finishes a program instead of picking up a gun, every community that stands together, these are victories. If you found this story powerful, subscribe to the War Tapes for more in-depth explorations into the untold stories of conflict, survival, and resistance. Drop a like, share with someone who needs to hear this, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay aware, stay strong, and never stop seeking the truth.